Hi everyone, welcome back to her Faith and Motherhood channel. This is Mercy, and I'm glad to have you here. If you're new to this space, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, I'm glad that you are back again. So today I'm going to be sharing about your life's diary, my life's diary. And I was just thinking about it of how every twist and turns form a perfect story for our lives. Yes, in the midst of the twists and turns, when you share your testimony, for example, or you share how things happen in a particular season of your life and how you are right now, people are stunned or excited for you and happy. That is part of the intriguing part of your life. The fact that you went from a low moment to a high moment, or that things changed for you in a good way eventually. This all adds up to the juice. So let me digress a bit. Imagine you reading a storybook. Me, for one, if I'm reading a storybook, I don't like to read stories that are dry. So let me give more context. I like reading books that has just like life experiences. So if I'm reading a book that is just telling me do this, and not giving me a practical example, sometimes I could really get lost in the whole reading, and then I have to pick it up again at a later time to continue. But I could read a book at a stretch, no matter how voluminous it is. I think I've read a novel at one point in my life, like in hours, and that's because there are a lot of stories in it. So when there are stories in these books, it keeps me engaged. So imagine someone picking up your life as a diary, and all they see is everything is perfect. You're able to wake up in the morning and go out as you planned it, or you wanted to do something and everything just worked perfectly well. There's no intriguing part of it. I don't know if you get me, but yeah, it doesn't just really have this suspense. Like if they decide to read the next chapter, they know that it's the same thing. But imagine you picking up another person's life diary, and at a particular time they had a very serious struggle with a particular thing, and then God came through for them. There's this bubble that you feel like this excitement, like oh my, I like how these things changed, and I like the twist, the plot twist for people that write stories. You know how things change, and yeah, that keeps you engaged. So this is me sharing or giving you a context of what I'm sharing about. So I was reading the book of Chronicles. I've been sharing a lot about it, or a couple of videos have been about it. This particular one, I'm reading the genealogy for Ishmael, and in my head, I thought that I was going to see that of Isaac, but I didn't see any. Then it moved on to the next person, and it just got me thinking. Don't mind me, I can like to reflect for Africa. So it just really got me thinking that wait, why did they skip the Jews from Isaac story? It just occurred to me that Isaac, his own wasn't written in just verses, which is a part of one chapter that I saw for Ishmael. Isaac had a lot more, like context sharing, going across the pages of the Bible. And it's not like Ishmael also didn't have that in the Bible, but a lot more about Isaac, right? So it just really got me thinking that sometimes you're expecting God to just show up for you bang right now, and sometimes He decides to delay it, not because He's a bad God, but because He knows that your story has to captivate the heart and minds of people. I shared a story about my first video. I shared how I transitioned into what I do currently and how everything eventually matched it, like puzzles that were in different places, and how God just made everything fit into where I am right now. So that's also, it's like how God writes our story at times. Sometimes it feels like there's so many twists and turns, but that's also part of the story. Like people need to hear that even though they are going through this particular twists and turns that you had, there's still this light, there's still this better, even in the midst of all the currents that they're facing right now. So your story is not in verses, your story is in chapters. And those chapters comes with twists and turns, but trust the God that's scripting your story, that He is writing it all together for a greater good, to make the juice out of your life. Squeeze and yes, pour out. And people that take out of that, they will not have known that something was squeezed, right? But yeah, your life is a written testimony to God's goodness. Those twists and turns happen, but you will get through it. It's just me telling you that your life, there is more to it than the twists and turns, and there's a story that God wants to write and scripting through you. So don't lose hope, don't lose faith just because there's so many things going on right now and you don't seem to understand it. You are going on a journey, and that journey, years needs to hear it, and there is a miracle through it. The fact that you're going through that process and you're not drenched, or you're still alive, you're still breathing, you've not decided to go and jump off the cliff or do something hurtful to yourself. The fact that you're still hanging in there, that means God is still involved in your life. So choose to see that glimpse of light that you may have lost and just hang in there. I pray for you that you will not lose sight of the hand that's carrying you. In the midst of everything, that you will see that the Lord is writing your story for a greater purpose that is beyond you, that ears needs to hear, and the world needs to praise the Father who has made you and has carried you by and by. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I didn't talk so long. So let me give you a gist. I'm also trying to work on not talking so much when it comes to these videos, but I'm hopeful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And see you in my next video. Love and light. Bye.